Hello, dear friends. This is the video response to answer all your questions about the video I made maybe 4 or 5 days ago. Ask me question in any language I know. Yeah, basically there are some people who don't speak English and posted the question in other languages, so I will answer them in the language of the question. Okay, first question is asked by Alessio1211. Ora sto imparando l'inglese con il metodo Brixter. L'hai mai sentito? È ottimo. No, io non ho mai usato questo metodo e non ho mai sentito Brixter. Dopo l'inglese avevo intenzione di cominciare a studiare lo spagnolo, ma ti volevo chiedere due cose riguardo ai corsi Assimil. Il tuo libro che dimensioni ha? Il mio libro ha una dimensione abbastanza piccola. Se vorresti comparare, questo è una foglia di carta normale e Assimil è piuttosto così. Così non è molto grande per prendere questo e utilizzarlo ovunque, è davvero molto molto utile. E dopo cosa mi hai domandato? Quando acquisti i corsi Assimil li prendo completi con i CD-ROM per un costo di 87 euro oppure ti prendi solo il libro da 20 euro? Ah, ok. Io non ho mai usato i CD-ROM. CD-ROM vuol dire che sei costretto di utilizzarlo sul computer. Io ho soltanto comprato il libro e avevo scaricato i CD su internet. Il sito dove io avevo scaricato i CD già hanno tolto loro hanno tolto le cose perché hanno detto che non è legale tutto questo. Io non ho trovato altro sito dove io posso scaricarlo, purtroppo, ma io penso che se tu cerchi molto bene su internet puoi scaricarlo ovunque e così non devi comprare le cose molto 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 caro. Il CD-ROM io non ho usato questo, soltanto i CD è davvero importantissimo usare i CD per ascoltare, così avrai un accento piuttosto giusto. Okay, second question is asked by Showbread135. How long did did it take you to learn Italian? Well, I studied like 4 months, every day half an hour, and after I was able to speak it, not so good, but I practiced a lot, and after 2 months of practice, I was okay. I could communicate in all basic situations of everyday life, and I had a lot of conversations, and the table conversations at my university. So 4 months plus 2 months of practice. Okay, the next question is asked by Miss LLS5. Hello, how did you learn Spanish? How long did it take you and what did you use? What was the hardest thing about the Spanish language? Please answer in English. Thank you. Okay, how did I learn Spanish? I took a book called Herbs, and I began to follow the method and just there were some dialogues and also cultural notes and also grammar notes, and I focused on the dialogues. I didn't have the CDs, but I prefer to use CDs. So basically, what I did is use the book. Like for 2 months, I learned 4 hours a day. It was my first foreign language I learned on my own, and yeah. What did I do? just study a lot in the book. I didn't focus on grammar. I just focused on the communication aspect. And when I've finished the course, I didn't know how to speak Spanish because I didn't practice a lot of Spanish. And if you want to be fluent in Spanish, you should actually speak a lot with native speakers. So I spoke like 2 or 3 months with my friend every day in Spanish, and that's how I got some sort of fluency in the language. So if you want more detailed informations about how I learned Spanish, you can just type on YouTube Polyglot Project, and the Polyglot Project is just about mm, the polyglot community on YouTube making a book. Everyone is sharing his techniques, experience about foreign languages. So you can go there, and I wrote a text about how I learned Spanish and what is useful for me. And what is also very useful, what was very useful for me when I was learning some Spanish, it was to put everything, electronical devices in Spanish, like computer, TV, music, MP3, everything. I didn't read I didn't read a lot in Spanish, but I listened a lot to Spanish radio, Spanish television, and all that stuff. Okay, next question asked by Vuskiz Moy. Hi Loki, when you study resources like HERPS and ASIML, do you use the exams in the courses, or do you just focus on the dialogue and just skip all the exams completely? Also, I don't think you are a fan of grammar books in general, but how much do you focus on grammar sections of HERPS and ASIML courses, etc.? Okay, very interesting question. Well, it depends on the language. In the ASIMO, I remember when I used ASIMO course for Italian. Since Italian is very similar to French, I didn't need a lot of tests and all that stuff. I just needed some vocabulary and know how the language works in general. And I didn't make the exercises for Italian. But now I'm learning Polish, and for Polish, I do all the exercises because it's just good. It's just good to do the exercises for the vocabulary because maybe I forgot vocabulary from Unit 5 and they just put it back in the Unit 10. So it's very good to do exercises for hard languages. And in general, I used once Teach Yourself and Helps for Spanish, and I did every exercise because in Teach Yourself it's very cool. Sometimes they talk about a restaurant menu. Sometimes they talk about what's written on a wall. So it's very different. So exercises are not like ASML. It's very different, and I think it's good to do them. But I focus a lot on dialogue. I listen over and over, over and over, over and over, maybe 15 times, and then I read a lot the dialogue. And you see, doing this, your brain is absorbing unconsciously the language. What did you ask me? Yeah, I know. Also, what, but how much do you focus on grammar section of Herbs and Asima? Now, I just read it once. I read the text like 3 times, and then I read the notes, and then I understand it. But I don't have to memorize the rule. I just have a glance at it, and I know how it works, and I don't need at the stage of ASML. It's the foundation stage. I don't need I don't need I don't need how do we say it? I don't need too many grammar explanations because I'm not able to understand. Like Japanese, I never read the not I read a little bit, but not a lot the grammar notes. But after 2 years, I'm using this a dictionary of basic Japanese grammar, and this is a very good book because this is a very good book because I have a basic knowledge in Japanese. I can communicate. I make some mistakes, but I can get better in grammar right now. You cannot use this book at the beginning of your Japanese learning because when they explain a rule, there are other rules in this rule, and if you don't know basic Japanese, you will not understand it. So it's like a rule in a rule, a rule in a rule. So it's very hard to get by if you don't have any knowledge of Japanese. If you don't know kanji, if you don't know hiragana, you will not use this book because this book is not for beginners. So I always recommend you to study the language at least if it's an easy language 6 months and then tackle the grammar. If it's a hard language like Russian or Arabic or something like that, maybe study it for 1 or 2 years and then go back to grammar, and you'll see that it's so easy to grammar when you have a basic knowledge. Okay, let's uh, change to our tableau. It's a question in French. À ton avis, quelle est la langue la plus belle? Quelle langue est-ce que vous aimez parler le plus? Which language do you find the most beautiful? Which language do you like to speak the most? Euh, bon, en Europe, j'adore l'italien parce que c'est une langue vraiment mélodieuse. Je sais pas comment on a pu inventer une langue aussi belle. Moi, j'adore les sons de l'italien. Ça dépend les régions, mais j'aime bien les sons plutôt de Rome, Bari, les régions plus ou moins au sud. C'est un accent assez beau. J'aime pas trop l'accent de Valle d'Aoste, ceux qui parlent l'italien un peu comme avec le R français, ça j'aime pas trop. Bon, en Europe, franchement, l'italien, c'est vraiment la langue que je kiffe le plus. J'adore cette langue. Et en Asie, j'aime bien bahasa indonésien. J'aime bien l'indonésien parce que ça a des sons vraiment exotiques. Le japonais aussi. Le japonais, c'est une langue unique. On ne peut pas la confondre avec d'autres langues. Je trouve ça vraiment très chouette. Euh, il y a encore des langues que j'ai pas encore appris que je trouve mélodieux. Donc, comme le thaï, qu'est-ce que l'arabe, quand je regarde Al Jazeera, c'est super cool. Même si je comprends rien à ce qu'ils disent, quand ils parlent, c'est super cool. Hum, euh, quelle est la langue que j'aime parler le plus? Moi, ça dépend des personnes. Quand je suis avec des Italiens, je parle souvent italien. Quand je suis avec des gens qui parlent allemand, j'aime bien parler allemand. Ça dépend vraiment des gens. Il n'y a pas vraiment une langue préférée. Mais j'aime bien beaucoup parler les langues à défi. C'est comme le japonais ça paraît dur, mais c'est pas super dur. Il suffit juste de s'habituer à leur manière de s'exprimer, qui est un peu à l'encontre de celle, bah, pas à l'encontre, ben, un peu à l'envers de la manière de s'exprimer des Européens. Ils sont un peu moins directs. Ils ont leur propre manière de parler indirectement et des trucs comme ça, des niveaux de politesse, il faut vraiment s'habituer. Ouais, ou sinon, ça va. Donc voilà. L'espagnol, j'adore parler ça avec les Sud-Américains. Donc vraiment, il y a vraiment pas une langue que j'aime parler en particulier ou une langue que j'aime. Mais au niveau de la sonorité, j'adore l'italien. C'est une langue vraiment très mélodieuse. Le français, vu que je le parle tous les jours, je trouve ça pas super. C'est vraiment une langue vraiment plate, comme ça, il y a pas d'intonation, rien du tout. Il y a beaucoup de gens qui trouvent ça très élégant aux États-Unis, mais c'est parce que c'est parce qu'ils parlent anglais, ils trouvent que le français c'est élégant, mais moi je trouve ça pas très spécial. Okay, I'll make the second part right now.